Right now on Good Morning America First Look, breaking news as the trade war between the U.S. and Canada escalates. The new threat from Canada overnight. Plus, the battle over beef prices in the U.S. The crackdown on illegal immigration ramping up. Now more family members of U.S. troops are being detained and deported. Should they get special treatment? A development in the fight against Alzheimer's, the new blood test getting the green light. Caught on camera, a train operator appears to fall asleep before a crash. A stunning U-turn in sports. NFL players leaving the pros to go back to college, sparking backlash. The controversy at Target over a Halloween costume prompting the company to apologize. A shark attack in the Florida Keys. A man hospitalized. Hear from the Good Samaritan who came to the rescue. And would you eat a cookie made from plastic bottles? How scientists are redefining recycling in the kitchen.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America First Look.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay. And I'm Hannah Batal. We begin with breaking news overnight affecting the U.S. economy and the price Americans pay for certain products from Canada. The Canadians are now responding to a new threat from President Trump to impose new tariffs on cars and steel. Overnight, the trade war between the U.S. and Canada escalating, which could mean higher prices for Americans. CTV News reports Canada will announce retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. today. Prime Minister Carney had previously pledged dollar-for-dollar retaliation after the U.S. imposed 50% tariffs on certain Canadian goods. But yesterday, President Trump went a step further. He's now threatening to also impose 50% tariffs on Canadian cars, trucks, and steel.
There are tens of thousands of jobs in Canada that are threatened by these actions. So it's a difficult moment for Canadians.
Trump says Canada has been ripping off the United States for years. Trade talks collapsed over the weekend.
They came in with a bunch of unreasonable last-minute demands. I frankly thought we had a deal. I think that we should have a deal, but I think that we need to send a message loud and clear.
President Trump has claimed the U.S. does not need Canada, but nearly 100% of U.S. natural gas imports come from Canada, along with more than half of our imported crude oil. And Trump last night acknowledged the U.S. relies on Canada for aluminum.
We don't have it. We get it all from Canada for the most part, and we need it badly.
Tariffs are also at the center of a political fight over the cost of beef. Ground beef prices are up 24% since President Trump took office, now averaging $6.89 per pound. In response, the administration is temporarily suspending some beef import tariffs to help lower prices. But some Republican lawmakers and ranchers are pushing back, saying the move could undercut cattle producers.
I have extraordinary respect for the president. So I'm very, very disappointed for Nebraska cattlemen and ranchers.
As for those new Canadian tariffs on U.S. goods, officials are expected to release details today. They're expected to take effect September 8th. More than 60,000 people are evacuated from their homes because of a major wildfire burning in Reno, Nevada. Crews are making progress and some evacuations were lifted, but officials say more than 15,000 acres have now burned. At least 32 homes have been destroyed, and that number is expected to rise. Meanwhile, a new wildfire in North Texas has already exploded to more than 15,000 acres. It's burning about 90 miles west of Dallas. A highway has been closed and several buildings are damaged. Now to the U.S. immigration crackdown. More family members of men and women serving in the U.S. military are being detained and deported. That's raising questions and concerns among advocates for U.S. troops. ABC's Karen Hua has more details. Karen, good morning.
Hey, Sophie, good morning. So these new cases highlight the growing push by the government to crack down on illegal immigration. Supporters say the rules are the rules. Critics say, though, this is a major policy shift that's taking a toll on American troops. This morning, the wife of a U.S. Army sergeant is the latest spouse of a military service member to be deported from the U.S. after the Trump administration rolled back immigration protections for military families. Sergeant Haydar Juarez says ICE officers detained his wife Christy outside a Walmart as their daughter watched from her car seat.
They claim they're going for the worst of the worst criminals in this country. My wife doesn't have a criminal record. She has never had any kind of problems with the law, not even a traffic ticket.
The Homeland Security Department says his wife illegally entered the United States in 2016 from Honduras and was removed from the United States in accordance with our laws. The Associated Press found more than 50 spouses and parents of U.S. military service members have now been swept up in the government's crackdown on illegal immigration. An ABC News review found none of the spouses had criminal records. Advocates claim it's taking a toll on the troops.
Our service members are having to fight two battles, one on the forefront, really, because we are a country of war, and at home front, making sure that their families are being taken care of.
In another case, a sailor on the USS Lincoln, who's serving a record 9-month deployment at sea, says his father back in Florida has been detained by Border Patrol. Joshua Avila saying, "I don't know how I can mentally continue working 12-plus-hour days, knowing my dad is somewhere possibly treated like a criminal." The family saying he was working toward getting legal status. Homeland Security responding, saying, "Having a family member in the military is not a free pass to violate our nation's laws."
Sergeant Turcios and no other service member is asking for any exception to the law. All we're asking is for the judicial process to take place.
Now, in a separate development, the Trump administration is now planning to revoke the business and tourism visas of up to 200,000 foreigners who are seeking asylum. The Associated Press says it would be the largest revocation of visas in U.S. history. Hannah?
Karen, thanks. Well, the White House is celebrating a Supreme Court decision on mail-in voting. The conservative justices are allowing President Trump to implement parts of his executive order limiting access to mail-in ballots while the issue plays out in lower courts. This will allow Homeland Security to create a registry of eligible voters, and it could set up the Postal Service to send ballots only to states that share voter information with the government. But the court has yet to rule on the legality of Trump's order, so any impact on November's elections still unclear. We have a full analysis of this court ruling on the ABC News app.
The FDA has approved a new blood test to help detect Alzheimer's disease. It's for people 55 and older with signs of cognitive decline. It was developed by Roche and Eli Lilly to help doctors identify patients who are likely or unlikely to have Alzheimer's-related brain changes. This is the fourth blood test of its kind granted approval since last year.
Now to an ABC News exclusive in the Carmelo Anthony track meet murder case. The father of the victim, high school track star Austin Metcalf, is speaking out after Anthony's request for a new trial was rejected. This morning, Jeff Metcalf, the father of murdered Texas teenager Austin Metcalf, is speaking to ABC's Aaron Katursky in his first interview since a judge refused to give his son's killer a new trial.
Did you get justice?
No. There's no such thing. I got handed a life sentence.
17-year-old Austin Metcalf was stabbed in the chest at a track meet after a confrontation with Carmelo Anthony, a student from a rival school, who witnesses say was seeking shelter from the rain under the other team's tent and refused to leave. Anthony claimed the stabbing was self-defense, but a jury convicted him of murder and he was sentenced to 35 years in prison. A judge last weekend denied his request for a new trial. His lawyers are vowing to appeal. Metcalf's father says the legal fight may go on, but the loss is permanent.
You got handed a life sentence.
And so did everybody else in my family and her family. We don't ever get to see Austin again. We don't get to talk to him. We don't get to hug him.
Metcalf has started the Austin Metcalf Foundation, teaching young people conflict resolution in the hopes that no split-second decision destroys another family.
This guy, he still gets to see his family. It's a tragedy that he has to be in prison. I feel sorry for him, just due to the fact that his life is pretty much ruined. I don't feel sorry for what he did, though. He needs to be held accountable.
There were no black jurors, and critics have questioned whether Anthony got a fair trial. Metcalf addresses that later on Good Morning America.
Today marks 2 weeks since powerful storms hit northern Indiana, knocking out power to most of Gary, Indiana. Nearly 1,600 homes and businesses were still without power overnight. The governor is demanding the utility be investigated. Full power restoration is expected today. Time now for your Tuesday weather.
Good morning. We'll track some showers this morning along the Gulf Coast, but this afternoon and evening it'll be about big storms from Texas Panhandle all the way to Nebraska. Some of these could be severe with big winds. The severe storm threat goes all the way into the upper Midwest, but really in the heartland, the biggest storms. Outside of that, all about the heat from the west across the south. Some relief in the northeast, just a few scattered storms to the north. But look at these feel-like readings, well over 100 during the day tomorrow. And out west, the extreme heat warnings again, triple digits the next few days. Las Vegas into Phoenix, and of course the fire danger remains high. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News senior meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Coming up, the video as a train operator appears to fall asleep before a crash.
Also ahead, the controversy over a Halloween costume sold at Target that critics say is racist.
And later, a thriller at the Little League World Series. We're back with video of a San Francisco train operator seeming to fall asleep just before slamming into another train. No one was hurt. The incident is being blamed on fatigue. Another driver was seen sleeping at the controls last year, prompting a fatigue awareness education campaign, which critics say hasn't worked.
Now to a Halloween costume controversy where Target is once again the target of criticism.
This morning, Target is apologizing and removing a children's Halloween costume after it was widely criticized as racist. The images of the costume are being compared to racist caricatures, evoking blackface. Target now acknowledges the costume should have never been for sale, saying, "As a company, we got this wrong, and we are deeply sorry. We know this is especially hurtful for our Black guests, team members, and partners. Removing the costume is an important first step, and we are looking closely at how this happened."
We're cutting up cars today.
It comes 1 year after the company's controversial move to roll back its diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, which sparked protests and boycotts by shoppers.
We need to hold larger corporations accountable.
One Minneapolis area business leader claims this new costume controversy is an indirect result of Target's DEI decision last year, saying, "You rolled back diversity, so who's in the room now to say, hey, this is wrong?" One commenter on social media saying, "The amount of people this costume had to go through to get approved says a lot. What year is it?"
Target declined to comment on who designed and approved the product, only saying that it's looking at what needs to change.
The Washington Post has been ordered to rehire a columnist who was fired over her social media posts about Charlie Kirk's assassination. In one post, Karen Ataya wrote about refusing to mourn a man she said espoused hatred and violence. An arbitrator ruled she was wrongfully terminated and must also receive back pay.
Coming up, a shark attack off the Florida Keys. We hear from the Good Samaritan who came to the rescue.
Also ahead, a stunning move by pro football players to go back to college and play college ball. Why they're being allowed to do it.
We're back with the shark attack in Florida and the Good Samaritans who jumped into action. A 43-year-old man was bitten in the leg while swimming off Key West. He was pulled out of the water with two nurses who happened to be on the beach and rushed to his aid.
When I got about 50 feet away from the patient, I saw the blood coming out of his foot. It had cut into the pedal artery, which is the main artery on the top of the foot. And so that's when I knew it was serious.
Christopher Green and the other nurse applied a tourniquet, and the man was airlifted to the hospital in stable condition.
You had the right people there to help him. We turn now to a new debate in the world of sports. Professional players going back to college.
It's a stunning U-turn in sports. NFL players leaving the pros to go back to college. Rookie tight end Daquan Wright was recently waived by the Cleveland Browns. Now, his agents say he has a deal to play for LSU this season.
It would absolutely be unprecedented in college athletics.
Former New Orleans Saints defensive lineman Xavier Harris is also headed back to college, also to LSU. It comes after the NCAA recently changed its rules to allow athletes 5 years to play. The rule change wasn't supposed to take effect until next season, but that sparked a legal battle. Wright and Harris were among those who sued to become eligible under the rule change.
Anyone who was in the class of 2022 and is gone after 4 years is saying, whoa, wait a minute, I got an extra year? And so you're seeing these lawsuits pop up state by state.
A judge in Louisiana ruled in their favor. And LSU moved quickly to recruit them.
They're either going to play for you or they're going to play somewhere else around the country. So we've made a decision to recruit them.
There's a powerful incentive to come back to college: money. College stars can now earn big paydays thanks to rule changes made in recent years.
Do I want to go back to LSU where I can make at least 6 figures? Or do I want to be on an NFL practice squad and make a modest salary at best?
The SEC is pushing back, saying college sports are for college athletes. But it's not just football. A judge has now cleared R.J. Luis Jr., who was under contract with the Utah Jazz and the Boston Celtics, to play college hoops at LSU this season.
Experts say other states could soon follow Louisiana's lead.
A thriller at the Little League World Series. Alabama's Kinley Rasmus striking out 6 after helping her team come back from a 5-0 deficit against Pennsylvania. The game going an extra inning with Alabama getting the winning hit with the bases loaded. They won it 6-5 to advance while Pennsylvania is eliminated.
Coming up, the singer who just made history with the best-selling song in America for another week.
Plus, would you eat a cookie made from plastic bottles? How scientists did it.
My child.
On Good Morning America.
Time to check the pulse. We begin with the country music smash hit making history.
Yep, now been 19 weeks at #1 for Ella Langley's Choose in Texas.
She's from Texas, I can tell by the way he's two-stepping round the room.
19 weeks ties the Billboard Hot 100 record for the longest run on top of the charts for a non-holiday song. Next, a new snack made from plastic.
And it's said to be quite nutritious. Scientists funded by NASA just created 3D printed cookies made from so-called upcycled plastic. They used specially programmed yeast to convert the carbon in the plastic into edible proteins, fats, and flavorings.
The scientists say the cookies actually smell pretty good, but they haven't eaten them yet. That's pending approval. They're hoping the cookies will someday be used to feed astronauts on deep space missions.
Next, a much faster way to get around Los Angeles and its notorious traffic. Just fly over it.
Yeah, that's what this new air taxi will be doing during the 2028 Olympics. It was unveiled yesterday, and it'll fly between downtown LA and several other locations once it's approved by the FAA. Company behind it expects the cost to be about the same as a luxury Uber ride. Next, a truck driver getting lots of smiles.
Yeah, this trucker recreated the scene from Toy Story. A driver in Florida spotted Buzz Lightyear with one hand gripping the truck and the other holding onto Woody. Top headlines next. Checking more top stories, Canadian officials plan to announce retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. today as the trade war heats up. It comes after President Trump imposed 50% tariffs on some Canadian imports and vowed to double import taxes on cars and steel.
The Trump administration is looking to charge more than $100,000 for H-1B visas. The fee would be paid by employers seeking skilled workers. The administration claims jobs are being taken away from Americans. A similar fee implemented last year was struck down by a judge.
New details about the arrest of San Francisco 49ers owner Jed York during a prostitution sting in Ohio. The local mayor tells USA Today York's arrest came during a crackdown on human trafficking. York took a plea deal, reducing the prostitution charge to misdemeanor disorderly conduct.
Today's weather, strong storms in the southeast with dangerous heat from Dallas to New Orleans, and more severe storms in the plains.
And finally, a real record setter on 4 wheels.
Danny New has her story.
Yeah! Look out, 66-year-old Judi Oyama is once again skating into history.
I actually feel like I'm skating more this last 2 years than I've skated forever.
As Guinness World Records 2027 drops in the U.S. today, this legendary speedster is being celebrated as the world's oldest female competitive skateboarder after extending a record she already held by 2 more years. This California native has been paving the way on the pavement for more than half a century. After, one day when she was 13, her brother made a skateboard in woodshop class and brought it home.
We tried it on the driveway, and I just kept skating, and we bought a board together. I never stopped.
Not soon after, in the 1970s and 80s, Judi emerged as a skateboarding pioneer. Not only was she inducted into the Skateboarding Hall of Fame in 2018, but a helmet she wore in 1976 has even been archived by the Smithsonian.
You gotta just go for it.
And obviously, she has not stopped since, even with the risk of potential injury.
How are you able to conquer that fear on four wheels?
Well, one, I don't think about falling.
But one thing that has kept Judi from retiring, she says, has really been finding a protege. This is 17-year-old Leola Kahaku, whom Judi has been mentoring for 2 years now. Last year at the International Slalom Skateboarding World Championships in Brazil, Judi placed 4th, and Leola took the gold at 1st overall. Judi said that moment made her year.
It's just been an amazing opportunity to watch someone like blossom.
And now, guys, Judi and Leola have qualified for the World Skate Games in Paraguay this fall, which will once again break and extend Judi's record some more.
Nothing's stopping her.
Seriously, that's your Good Morning America First Look.
Have a great day.